Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 15th of January 2025 and later on in the day guys, the CPI numbers will be out and because of that looks like the prices are reacting positively. Now there is a very high possibility guys that the inflation might be a bit surprising. Now based on my understanding guys, the inflation might slightly be higher and that to be honest is definitely not a bad thing because what has been happening ever since President Donald Trump has been re-elected, a lot of the companies they are investing in a lot of new jobs. And because of that, the employment rate has increased as well. Now, regarding inflation, guys, it is really important to understand that there needs to be a balance of inflation. Just reducing the interest rate consistently isn't great, but there needs to be a balance in order to maintain the inflation rate. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, and once the CPI numbers are out, at the bottom of the page, they go and explain how the inflation is calculated. And I said this thing in the recent past as well. What you can do is you can take down that information, put it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to explain how inflation is calculated. Extremely simple as that. Now I'm really hoping that schools and education do actually follow a similar pursuit and students will know how inflation is calculated, isn't it? That is my honest opinion. Now look, because of the CPI numbers guys, the prices of Bitcoin in the global cryptocurrency market is looking really good right now. The price of Bitcoin is almost on the verge of touching the $97,000 mark. Now it's going to be really interesting to see how the prices react over the weekend, cause on Monday, that is the 20th of January guys, President Donald Trump will be sworn in, and things are definitely looking good so far as the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned, isn't it? And there's a really interesting post that is published by Washington Post, and they are talking about the executive orders that President Donald Trump will be doing on day one, and they are talking more in terms of cryptocurrencies. So what I'll do guys in today's episode, I'll go ahead and discuss what this particular article is all about. But overall, guys, it is definitely a win for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now, one of the promises that President Donald Trump was that he'll be freeing Ross Ulbricht. And hopefully, guys, that does actually happen on the 20th of January. And then we can confidently state that promises were made and promises were kept as well. Now, in the world of Bitcoin, guys, BlackRock has definitely changed the directory of Bitcoin, isn't it? And earlier today, BlackRock did actually publish an inside publication. And in that publication, guys, they're talking about the growth of Bitcoin. Now look guys, me personally I found it really cheeky because what they've actually said does make a lot of sense if you take it in a different context. And what they've actually said is that Bitcoin pace of adoption is actually faster than other breakthrough technologies and they've compared it with internet and mobile phones. But look guys, we need to compare Bitcoin with something else. And according to me guys, the growth of Bitcoin should be compared let's say with Threads, which is done by Mark Zuckerberg, or even ChatGPT by OpenAI. So I'll go ahead and share my honest thoughts and opinion on it. Now more importantly guys, you need to understand why BlackRock published this insight, because they want to go ahead and highlight their iShares Bitcoin ETF, and the ticker symbol for that is IBIT. And guess what guys, the next news is also connected to this news, because BlackRock has now gone ahead and launched Bitcoin ETF in Canada as well. So that is one of the reasons why they've gone ahead and published this article. Now what I'm seeing while LinkedIn is a lot of Bitcoin maximalists guys. They're only talking about Bitcoin's growth in comparison to mobile phones and other technologies. But there's always a hidden agenda to what BlackRock is doing. But nonetheless guys, in today's episode we'll definitely take a deep dive into this. Now the final news guys is something which did actually take place a few years ago. And that is to do with an electronic tech giant Sony. And they did actually venture into the blockchain space. Now the news essentially is that they have a platform for creators. And Sony has launched this platform called Sonium, and their aim is to simplify blockchain interactions, and they are focusing on creators and audiences. Now look, Sony getting into the game is definitely a deal breaker in my honest opinion, so I'll definitely go ahead and share more information regarding this. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee 88 series, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys is definitely a brilliant one, and this is to do with 1 million prompters initiative. And this initiative, guys, did actually take place last year as well. And this is connected to artificial intelligence. And Dubai Center for Artificial Intelligence, guys, they have opened up global registration for 1 million prompters initiative. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to the website and sign up for it. I have gone ahead and done that as well. Now in today's episode, I'll definitely go ahead and explain what this news is all about. Now the second news, guys, is more revolving tokenization and TokenVest. They have become the first DMCC company to receive a full market license for real-world asset marketplaces. So I'll go ahead and share more information regarding this. Now at a macro level guys, the only thing I can say regarding tokenization is Most of these projects are directly or indirectly managed by permission blockchain, and according to me guys, there is nothing called as permission blockchain. The other word for that is software. But regarding TokenVest guys, looks like they're working on permission blockchain, particularly when you talk about tokenization with real world assets. But nonetheless, I'll go ahead and share more information regarding this. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DCAI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, hey guys, look, there are a few things that I'm really passionate about in life. The first one is death metal, second is Bitcoin, the third one is ice cold beer, and since the last decade I'm passionate about obstacle course racing, and Spartan Race, they are the pinnacle of obstacle course racing. Now here's the thing guys, Spartan Race is starting a new chapter in the Middle East, and what better way to start it by having the first ever Spartan trifecta in Dubai. So Spartan Race in the Middle East is doing it really big, and they are organizing 3 events taking place between the 25th and 26th of this month, and they're doing it at the most iconic location, that is Dubai Parks and Resorts. So look guys, if you're into running, if you want to challenge yourself, and if you're into adventure, you definitely need to check out Spartan Race Middle East. And Spartan Race is what you need to sign up for. Now I'm a brand ambassador for Spartan Race guys, and I have a 20% discount code just for you, and the code for that is George20, and the link to that is in the show notes below as well. Now look guys, I'm addicted to Spartan Race, and I do have a second podcast called as the Race Space Podcast, where I've interviewed athletes, world champions and race directors. So please feel free to go and check out my second podcast. And also guys, go to YouTube and look at Spartan Race, and you have a chance to be part of history, because this is the first ever trifecta in Dubai. So when you talk about trifecta guys, essentially there are 3 events. One of them is called a sprint, which is essentially 5 kilometers with 20 obstacles. The second one is super, which has 10 kilometers and 25 obstacles. And the third one is called a speed, which is 20 kilometers of running and 30 obstacles. So look guys, if you want to overcome your obstacles, want to go out and challenge yourself, sign up for Spartan Race in the Middle East, and the discount code is George20, and the link to that is in the show notes below. So see you guys at the event. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Space Podcast. So check out the Race Space Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Space Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace podcast across all leading platforms. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now look, as earlier this year I did actually make an announcement that there are 3 dates that we need to keep an eye on, particularly in January 2025. The first one is 15th of January, that is today. And later on today, guys, the CPI numbers or Biden inflation numbers will be out. And whether we like it or not, guys, this news will directly and indirectly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And the only website I'd recommend you guys to go and check the inflation numbers is the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. Avoid looking at any mainstream media for inflation-related news. And what I'll do, guys, in tomorrow's episode, I'll definitely take a deep dive into the inflation numbers, and I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on how did it impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And the second date, guys, is the 20th of January, when President Donald Trump will be sworn in, and a lot of Bitcoin maximalists as well as advocates of peace, they are definitely looking forward for this date. And finally, guys, on the 29th of this month is when the next FOMC meeting is scheduled to take place, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell will be making a decision whether to keep the interest rate, reduce it, or increase it. And these 3 days, guys, will definitely impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, that thing being said, guys, since the last 24 hours, the global cryptocurrency market is definitely looking good. And more importantly, guys, the 24-hour volume is great as well. And the global cryptocurrency market now stands at $3.36 trillion. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.83%. Now, if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume, guys, it is well over the $100 billion mark. It is at $122.21 billion. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 30.53%. Unfortunately, guys, no matter what happens at the geopolitical level, Bitcoin level or Ethereum level, the volume in decentralized finance is always ridiculously low. And today, once again, it is well below the $7 billion mark. And the total volume of decentralized finance is only at $6.65 billion. And DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for only 5.44% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, Lido is still dominating so far as TVL or total value locked is concerned. And the total value locked is $31.08 billion. The only matrix which I'm lacking is decentralized to centralized exchange dominance. To date, has pumped up to 41.55%. And since the last 2 weeks, guys, decentralized to centralized exchange dominance was well below the 30% mark, so I'm kind of content with the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance. Now let's quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, guys, because Uniswap's volume has definitely picked up a lot of pace since the last 24 hours, and right now it is at $3.58 billion. Radium is almost on the verge of touching the $2 billion mark, and its 24-hour volume is $1.96 billion. PancakeSwap, guys, is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $1.40 billion. At number 4, there's Lifinity, and its 24-hour volume is $1.19 billion. Aerodrome, guys, is at number 5th, and its 24-hour volume is $1.14 billion. Now let's quickly run through the volume of stablecoins, guys, because since the last 24 hours, the volume of stablecoins in comparison to yesterday has muchly gone down. But look, because the prices are increasing, guys, I'm kind of content with what is going on. And even if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, it has actually pumped up, which just means, guys, people are not selling their Bitcoin. Rather, majority of the people are just buying Bitcoin. That, to be honest, is definitely a great sign as well. And it's needless to say that Tether USDT is leading the pack so far stablecoin volume is concerned, and its 24-hour volume is $97.81 billion, followed by Circle USDC at $6.76 billion, and NEFD guys is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $6.25 billion. Now let's quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now since the last 24 hours, guys, Bitcoin's dominance is actually pumped up, and as I mentioned a few minutes ago, looks like a lot of buying is going on, particularly to do with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's dominance is right now at 57.16%. Now Ethereum's dominance is exactly the same as yesterday, and it is at 11.60%. And if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $53.83 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $22.94 billion. Now regarding the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin, guys, could it be possible that because BlackRock has gone ahead and launched a spot Bitcoin ETF in Canada, a lot of people are actually buying Bitcoin in Canada? Definitely a very high possibility in my honest opinion. So at a macro level, guys, we definitely need to be aware of these news, isn't it? Now if you look at the market cap of Bitcoin, guys, right now it is at $1.91 trillion, and I'm really curious to check, guys, once the inflation number is out, and with President Donald Trump getting sworn in, will the price of Bitcoin actually cross the $2 trillion mark over the weekend? Definitely a very high possibility, but it does depend on what the CPI numbers are. Now regarding the market cap of Ethereum, guys, right now it is at $388 billion, and there is a very high possibility over the weekend it could actually cross the $400 billion mark once again. But look, guys, whatever I'm saying is definitely not financial advice, and do not make any investment decision based on my advice. Make sure you go and do your own research. Now this entire week, guys, I'm looking at different metrics regarding blockchain decentralized applications, isn't it? And the first day, guys, we looked at the top 5 decentralized apps that was working across all blockchain protocols, and Radium was surprisingly at number 1. And yesterday, guys, we looked at the same matrix but from a different point of view. We looked at it from a dollar value. Now what I want to do, guys, in today's episode, I want to look at the top 5 decentralized apps that are working only on Solana blockchain. And what I want to do is, guys, I want to take it a step further. I want to look at the unique active wallet interactions, and at the same time, guys, I also want to look at the fiat value of incoming token transfers from unique active wallet interactions since the last 24 hours. And it's needless to say, guys, Radium is consistently at number 1 so far as the app is concerned, not just across Solana but across all blockchain protocols. And if you look at it in terms of wallet interactions, guys, it is showing as 2.56 million. But if you look at it in terms of dollar amount, it is at $71,500. Now the number second, guys, is Jupiter Exchange. And check this out, guys. If you look at the wallet interactions, it is showing as 576,000. But if you look at it in terms of dollar amount, guys, it is showing as $22.42 million. Now look, guys, here is where it gets interesting. Radium is a decentralized exchange, and Jupiter is also a decentralized exchange. But so far, Jupiter is concerned, guys, it is more of an aggregator, and it optimizes the best available swaps between any supported tokens. So the big question is, why is there so much of difference so far as the 24-hour volume in terms of dollar amount is concerned? And the only thing I can think of is, maybe the numbers that is reported via dapradar.com, they are removing the debits and credits and exchanges. That is the only explanation I can think of. Now if you know as to why the numbers are showing different, guys, mention them in the comments below or drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now the third most decentralized app working on Solana blockchain is no surprise is Pump.fun, and in terms of wallet interactions, guys, it is 251,000, and in terms of dollar amount, it is not a surprise again. It is at $118.98 million. Now the fourth one is Momo AI. In terms of wallet interaction, it is $67,000. But here's the interesting thing, guys. If you look at the fiat value of incoming token transfers, it is showing as 0. Now there is a very high possibility that this particular project is not live yet, but the data are still showing on dapradar.com, and the same thing is at number 5th as well. That is P-Link. The transactions taking place is 23,700, but so far as the dollar value is concerned, it is showing up as 0. So what I've done, guys, in today's episode, I've sorted this particular matrix based on unique active wallet interactions, and then, guys, I'm just looking at the dollar value, and that is just a different way of looking at it, isn't it? So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to dapradar.com and look at matrix from a different point of view. And if you're an institutional investor, guys, you can go ahead and make a decision. Should you be looking at a project from a dollar value point of view, or should you be looking at the number of transactions? Because there is a massive anomaly between both of these. Now, guys, let's go ahead and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin is at $96,916. And since the last 24 hours, guys, it is actually up by 2.45%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.08%. Ethereum is at $3,223. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.57%. But since the last 7 days, it is down by 5.14%. But look, guys, Ripple XRP is definitely been benefited the most. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 15.29%. And that is because of the launch of the stablecoin that is RLUSD, isn't it? And on the 13th of this month, guys, I did talk about a partnership that they made with Chainlink. And who's to say, guys, maybe 3 to 5 years down the line, Ripple's RLUSD might be steadily competing with Tether USDT as well. Only time will tell, I guess. That the price of XRP is at $2.68. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 5.34%. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 5.34%. Now I'm looking at Ripple's market cap right now, guys, and it has overtaken Tether USDT's market cap by a really long margin. Right now, guys, Ripple's market cap is at $162 billion, whereas Tether USDT's market cap is at $137 billion. And literally over a week ago, guys, the market cap of Tether USDT and XRP was neck and neck. Now I'm really curious to check, guys, what happens to the stablecoin world 3 to 5 years down the line. And with Tether relocating to El Salvador, guys, I'm really curious to check the adoption of both Tether USDT and RLUSD. Now, guys, let's go ahead and kickstart today's episode by discussing President Donald Trump's first-day executive orders. Now, it's really important to understand, guys, this is more of a news that is published by Washington Post and not an official news by President Donald Trump. And what Washington Post is actually reporting, that President Trump is expected to sign executive orders addressing crypto debanking and repealing a policy that forces banks to list cryptocurrencies as liabilities. And this was notoriously done by the Joe Biden administration. Now, regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, guys, the Trump team has made it very clear that this is a top priority, and the left-leaning administration under Joe Biden, guys, has been accused of using financial regulators to pressure banks to cut off industry from financial services, and this was done under Operation ChokePoint 2.0. Now, look, guys, I've historically said this. Left-leaning ideologies are definitely not fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. They're definitely not fans of open source. And they're definitely not fans of freedom of speech as well. They are focusing on more being woke, isn't it? Now, so far as right-wing ideologies are concerned, guys, they definitely want less regulations. And with those that is Department of Government Efficiency, guys, I'm pretty much sure Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they will be dissolving a lot of bureaucratic and federal resources. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of an impact does it have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Now, Trump has appointed David Sack, guys, and he did actually host a lunch on the 20th of December. And there is an article that was published by Reuters, guys. And it was actually revealed in the article that Trump plans to revoke Biden's 2023 AI executive order. Now, regarding the AI executive order, guys, I did actually cover this in my news in 2023. And Joe Biden, guys, he wanted a lot of restrictions on AI as well. And Biden's executive order established 6 new standards for AI safety and security, and its intention for ethical AI usage within the government. Now, look, guys, I've said this over and over again. When you talk about artificial intelligence, right now a lot of the artificial intelligence is left-leaning. And look, guys, in my Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, along with this particular episode, I do release an AI episode, which is entirely done by artificial intelligence, and I'm using Notebook LM by Google. And no matter what I type positive things regarding President Trump, guys, they completely ignore it. So what I have done in the recent past, guys, I did actually put out a 1-page document explaining why the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are pumping up, and I was giving credit to President Donald Trump. But guess what, guys? The AI completely ignored that. So what I did is, guys, I literally replaced the word President Donald Trump and replaced it with Joe Biden. And guess what, guys? All of a sudden, AI started to talk positive things. This, to be honest, is a massive red flag. Because when you talk about AI, guys, it should be apolitical. I would be upset if AI would be talking only positive things regarding President Donald Trump as well. But look, with President Donald Trump getting sworn in on 20th of January, I'm definitely expecting quite a lot of changes. Now, regarding the executive order, guys, venture capitalist Mark Andreessen has also been quietly assisting Trump's incoming administration, and he has been influencing the technology sector, defense as well as intelligence appointment, and Trump guys in all of his rallies did actually state that he does pledge to make US a crypto capital with promise of a Bitcoin strategic reserve, and he wants a lot of easier regulations regarding Bitcoin strategic reserve guys. There is so much of misleading information via LinkedIn and Facebook. Now, President Donald Trump did actually state that he wants to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve, and essentially the only thing that he said is that the existing Bitcoin that is in the US government, that will not be sold, nothing more than that. But here's what is going on in the LinkedIn and the Facebook world, guys. People are claiming that President Donald Trump is going to go ahead and buy Bitcoin, and look, as President Trump has not made any of these promises, and what is going to happen is, once President Donald Trump gets sworn in, and if he does not act on something that he did not say, left-leaning media are going to go ahead and attack him on something that he has not said, and a lot of people on LinkedIn and Facebook are then going to say that President Donald Trump only said he's going to buy Bitcoin, only to go ahead and get his votes. So look guys, President Donald Trump did specifically state regarding Bitcoin strategic reserve, and the only thing that he said is that the existing Bitcoin held by the US government will not be sold. That's about all, and according to me guys, that is a genius move. But nonetheless guys, on the 20th of January, President Donald Trump has 100 executive orders, and it's going to be really interesting to see guys if there is a new podcast that is released that tracks President Donald Trump's performance on a daily basis. And I can think of a great name for the podcast guys. How about Drain the Swamp? That'll be a brilliant name, isn't it? Let me know what are your thoughts regarding this. Now guys, let's go ahead and discuss some news regarding BlackRock. And BlackRock guys, they have published a market insight, and their publication stresses Bitcoin pace of adoption, and they are talking about how it is faster than any other breakthrough technologies like the internet and mobile phones. And they have identified several factors for this adoption, and they are talking about demographic patterns, global shifts, as well as future of finance. Now look, as me personally, I'm a massive advocate of Bitcoin, but regarding this article guys, it is kind of misleading in my honest opinion, because look, you need to compare Bitcoin with what is currently going on so far as adoption is concerned, rather than comparing Bitcoin, let's say, with internet or mobile phones. I think that Bitcoin should be compared with Threads, which is done by Meta, and they recorded 30 million users in just 24 hours. What about ChatGPT guys? ChatGPT by OpenAI, they had a record of 1 million users in just 5 days. Now let's say if you don't want to look at recent things guys, how about Pokemon Go? I very specifically remember this one completely viral, isn't it? And Pokemon Go had a record of 50 million downloads in just a matter of few days. Now look guys, with the impact of social media, I do think that Bitcoin's adoption should be compared with TikTok. Now me personally, I'm not a fan of TikTok as such, but if you look at the adoption of TikTok guys, they achieved 500 million users in just a matter of 2 years. So look guys, when you're reading these reports, you truly need to understand the nature as to why this report is published. So what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, in the show notes below, I've gone ahead and put out BlackRock's Market Insight publication, and the report does actually acknowledge that Bitcoin is the world's largest crypto asset, and it has experienced rapid adoption, catching the attention of individuals and institutional investors. And in that report guys, they have talked about cryptocurrencies in particular, not Bitcoin, and they put up a graph guys, and they have shown the time needed to achieve 300 million users. Now regarding mobile phones, it took the world 21 years, and regarding internet it took 15 years, but regarding cryptocurrency guys, it took a record of 12 years. But look guys, if you actually compare this with TikTok achieved higher significant users of 500 million users, and they did that in just a matter of 2 years. So we need to be looking at these factors as well. And as I mentioned earlier guys, there is always a hidden agenda to this, isn't it? And the main reason of the report is to highlight the iShares Bitcoin ETF, and the ticker symbol for that is IBIT. And they are talking about how the spot Bitcoin ETF simplifies Bitcoin exposure by allowing investors to trade through traditional brokerage accounts. And they are talking about how it avoids the complexities of direct investment. This, to be honest guys, as a Bitcoiner, is a massive no, isn't it? Because look, a lot of the Bitcoins are technically not owned by these people, rather it is BlackRock that holds the underlying asset. So me personally guys, I'm definitely not a fan of this particular insight. And here's where it gets interesting guys. The reason they published this report is because in Canada, BlackRock has launched IBIT Spot Bitcoin ETF, and that is the only reason why they went ahead and did this. And regarding Canada guys, the iShares Bitcoin ETF was launched on Monday on the CBOE Canada exchange, and it is traded under the ticker symbol IBIT, and it simply invests in US counterpart, but it is priced in Canadian dollars. and traded on a Canadian exchange. And Robert Mitchell, who is BlackRock's head of digital assets, did have an interview with BNN Bloomberg, and the interview is roughly around 9 minutes or so please feel free to go ahead and check it out. Now it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what the outcome of Solana ETF is, and with the new administration and with Gary Gensler being fired, who's to say we might get a Solana ETF as well. So definitely interesting times ahead. Now guys, let's go ahead and discuss the final news for today, and that is to do with Sony. And Sony has launched an Ethereum Layer 2 platform called Sonium, which aims to simplify blockchain interaction for creators and the audiences. And this particular project, guys, was developed by Sony Block Solution Labs, also called as Sony BSL. And Sonium features NFT-based fan engagement tools, as well as an incubator program. And Sonium Spark, guys, after 4 months of testing, has gained over 14 million users and proceeded 47 million transactions. And here's the interesting thing, guys. Sonium is built on Ethereum Layer 2 technology from the Optimism Foundation, and they are using OP Stack and Superchain architecture. And Sony's goal is to onboard regular users without requiring Web3 knowledge, and that should be the endgame goal in my honest opinion. And Sonium, guys, is focusing on chain abstraction where blockchain operates in the background, and the platform is designed to empower creativity and connect people, particularly in the entertainment sector. And Sony BSL, that is Blockchain Solution Labs, plans to extend Sonium users across their subsidiaries, including for films, music and games as well. And the Sonium Spark incubation program, guys, did actually receive over 1,700 applications, and this demonstrates significant interest in entertainment-focused blockchain industry. And Sony, guys, also aims to explore new methods for protecting creator rights and ensuring fair value distribution between creators and fans. And Sony Blockchain Labs, guys, was founded in 2023, and this was done as a joint venture between Sony and Startle Group, and they recently rebranded it in 2024. Now in 2023, guys, I definitely covered this news in the Crypto and Coffee 88 series, and at that point of time, guys, there was so much of hype regarding NFTs, and Sony at that point of time, guys, is definitely focusing on NFT-based fan engagement as well, but looks like the hype regarding that has died down, and right now the hype is all regarding tokenization, isn't it? So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what the future of tokenization is. As a matter of fact, guys, the next news that I'm going to be talking about is regarding two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news I'd like to talk about is regarding tokenization and TokenVest, guys. They have become the first DMCC company to receive a full market license for real-world asset marketplaces. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this. And TokenVest, guys, is a marketplace for real-world asset investing, and they are focusing on fractional investments. And TokenVest has received a full market license from Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, and it is the first company in Dubai's DMCC International Business District to receive an operational VARA license. And TokenVest is one of the few regulated end-to-end real-world asset investing platforms globally. And this particular project, guys, is led by Scott Thiel, who's the CEO, as well as Matt Bloom. Now look, guys, right now there is so much of hype regarding tokenization, and the only reason why there is so much of tokenization hype is because Larry Fink, who's the CEO of BlackRock, he did actually have an interview via CNBC, and this particular interview, guys, was roughly around just 7 minutes or so. And this particular interview was immediately after the approval of Spot Bitcoin ETF. And in that interview, guys, he actually said that he does not care much regarding the Spot Bitcoin ETF, but he's focused more on tokenization. And the moment I saw that, guys, I immediately told all of my networks that the next step in the cryptocurrency and blockchain world is tokenization. Now, me personally, guys, I'm not content with what is going on in the world of tokenization. And there are reports that tokenization market is forecasted to surpass $10 trillion by 2030. And this report is published by Roland Berger. And Boston Consulting Group is saying that it is $16 trillion in tokenized securities. Now look, guys, when you talk about tokenization, I don't think it could work perfectly well in open blockchain. Tokenization as such can work only in permission blockchain, and there is nothing called as permission blockchain, guys. And in order to understand the difference between permission and open blockchain, guys, you truly need to understand what Bitcoin is. And one of the biggest innovations of Satoshi Nakamoto was that he was able to solve the double spending problem. And with the permission blockchain, guys, you can essentially go ahead and double spend. And regarding tokenization, guys, you need to do KYC. And how will the KYC and AML work in an open blockchain? And the big question is, what happens if that particular token or cryptocurrency is sold in a secondary market? Where does regulations fit in? That is one of the reasons, guys, when you talk about tokenization, I am a bit skeptical. But nonetheless, guys, going back to this news, TokenVest aims to lower barriers for investors with limited capital to access high-value real-world assets. and their platform guys provides fractional investment in prestigious assets, and they're doing that to enhance liquidity and accessibility. And the CEO, that is called Thiel, has highlighted the democratization of assets access and liquidity creation as key benefits of the platform. Now, this particular license by Dubai's VARA allows TokenVest to operate as a virtual asset broker-dealer and serve retail and institutional investors in and from Dubai. And the platform guys leverages blockchain for secure, efficient and seamless fractionalization of assets. And TokenVest guys, they have secured elite assets from top real estate developers, fund managers and commodity trading venues. And the platform claims it will bring tokenized assets to market in the coming weeks, offering broader access to premier investment opportunities. Now look at this particular news of TokenVest aligns with DMCC's vision to grow Web3 adoption and real-world asset tokenization, and the platform emphasizes security, regulatory compliance, and investor safety as well. And DMCC guys, they support TokenVest in scaling and tapping into international markets. And look guys, when you talk about news such as this, it definitely underscores Dubai's position as a leading market in crypto and Web3 innovation. So definitely interesting news guys. But that thing being said, I don't think so that tokenization could actually work in a permission blockchain. And let's see guys, in the month of February, I'll try to go ahead and release a series of episodes where we go ahead and look at this in detail. Now guys, let's go ahead and discuss a really interesting news. And this is in the field of artificial intelligence and Dubai Center for Artificial Intelligence guys. They have opened up global registration for 1 million prompter initiative. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, because their goal is to train 1 million individuals in AI prompt engineering. And this particular initiative guys was introduced in May of 2024, and this was under the leadership of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai. And regarding the duration guys, this will be a 3-year program to enhance AI skills globally, and the objective is to empower participants with generative AI and prompt literacy skills to improve professionals and creative capabilities. And this particular initiative of 1 million prompter initiative guys supports the Dubai Universal Blueprint for Artificial Intelligence Framework, that is for AI talent and technology adoption. And this news definitely reinforces Dubai's leadership in AI innovation and technology. And this particular initiative guys aims to drive AI adoption across sectors and unlock groundbreaking applications, and it focuses on cultivating a new generation of AI specialists and seamless AI industry integration. And regarding the curriculum guys, it comprises of 4 specialized modules for AI mastery, and the first module is Unleashing Power of AI, and it covers fundamental knowledge of AI and prompt literacy. And the second module is titled Commanding Conversation with AI Chatbots, and this is focusing on advanced techniques for AI interaction. Module 3 guys is titled AI Powered Productivity Revolution, and this focuses on strategies for workflow optimization using artificial intelligence. And the fourth module is Creative Frontiers in Generative AI, and this focuses on application of artificial intelligence in creative fields like arts, music and video. And participants guys who go through these modules can earn accredited certificates upon program completion. And this particular initiative guys builds on the success of 2024 Global Prompt Engineering Championship in Dubai. And if I'm not mistaken guys, the name of the 4 winners were announced as well. And this second edition of the championship will be held during Dubai AI Week in April of 2025. So definitely interesting news. So what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, go to the website of the Dubai Center for Artificial Intelligence and sign up for it. I have gone ahead and done that as well. So these were the news guys from the cryptocurrency, blockchain and artificial intelligence world from blockchain DXB. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, metaverse. I have a question by Kareem who asks, with Sony's new Sonarium platform, how do you see the future of NFT-based fan engagement in the entertainment industry? Now look, to be honest Kareem, I'm completely not sold on this particular idea, and I very specifically remember I did actually cover this news in 2023, when there was so much of hype regarding NFTs as such. But look, let me do one thing. Let me go ahead and discuss why this might be a positive thing, and then I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on why this NFT-based fan engagement may not actually work. Now let's talk about the positive sides for it, Kareem. And I do feel to a certain extent that Sony's Securian platform does actually have the potential to revolutionize fan engagement, and they can do that by leveraging blockchain technologies to empower creators and their followers and audiences, and they can do that in a way that was not done before, isn't it? And NFTs, to a certain extent, do actually provide a unique opportunity to create exclusive, verifiable content that fans can own, trade, or even display as well. And this actually deepens the relationship between creators and fans, isn't it? And I do remember one of the DJs, in his entire lifetime earnings, he made more in NFTs than his DJ career. And news such as this definitely make them more than just passive consumers, and they also involve active participation with the creator's economy. And to a certain extent, Kareem, I do feel that with Sonium's focus on NFTs and creator rights, it could actually help bridge the gap between traditional entertainment and Web3 offerings, and creators will be in a position to offer fans unprecedented access to limited edition collections, maybe even behind the scenes content and interactive experiences as well. And I'm really curious to check if there's some way they can actually go ahead and link it to Patreon. That would be a game changer in my honest opinion. But look, like all things, looks like NFT turned out to be hype, isn't it? So let me go ahead and share some negative things regarding this particular news. Cause look, Kareem, while the concept of NFT-based fan engagement is exciting, there are a lot of challenges that might actually hinder its widespread adoption. And the first thing I can think of is the issue of accessibility. Now look, NFTs and blockchain technology are still complex at this point of time, and many fans don't even bother understanding what blockchain and Web3 is, and this, according to me, creates a barrier to entry for a large proportion of the audience, and this will definitely limit its full potential. And moreover, if you look at the recent past, NFTs have been criticized for the environmental impact, and this is due to high energy consumption, and that was when Ethereum was under the POW or Proof of Work network. Now, apart from that, when you talk about NFTs, it is all about speculation, isn't it? And Kareem, the speculative nature of NFTs might actually detract a lot of fans as well, and based on my understanding, a lot of the NFTs, values have gone down by well over 90% as well. But look, the cryptocurrency and blockchain world is absolutely wild. Let's see if this thing turns out to be a success. But to be honest, I'm really skeptical regarding this, but definitely an interesting question. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 am to 8:30 am, we are Blockchain DXB podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.